What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And today we'll have a guest on, my buddy Zeno187, and we're just gonna be talking about like video games and action figures and stuff like that. So I'll start off with the first question. I don't know how much you've collected in your life, but like, what's kind of the thing that you're really into right now?
I think right now is probably like collecting like miniatures, like Warhammer figures. And it kind of just ranges from that to like statues of certain. I don't know what like measurements are, so I'm not even gonna get on like that. But yeah, things like that and pops.
Are you like looking to build any certain army in specific, or you just kind of
Oh
you
yeah,
know
for the tabletop, looking to build into like blood ravens.
okay.
So yeah, none of that generic stuff.
And what would you say, like, I guess what would be the inspiration for you choosing to go with the Blood Ravens?
Uh, Probably like it was because it was one of the second games, like Warhammer games I played in the franchise was Dawn of War, which is when they were like first introduced, and I feel like it really just left a mark because I used to also play the game with my dad. He's the one that got me into it. He bought me like a computer and we'd be sitting side by side playing on landlines and shit like that. So
Okay.
there's a lot
Did
of sentimental value to it.
okay. And like, did you guys just play that, or did you play the tabletop as well?
We played that in one day. One year he took me back, probably back in like 2012 or some shit like that. He took me to a little hobby store and let me play a game or two with some of the people there. So
Whoa,
kind of
what
just stuck after that.
what legion were you running at that time? Do
I
you
was just
remember?
using his. He had I think they were called like Mantis Warriors back at
Oh
the time.
shit,
They're like
yeah,
pretty,
bro.
yeah,
Yeah, they're like one of the more like underground, like not really known factions. Let's see.
yeah.
They're like, I think they're a successor chapter to like I I want to say Imperial Fist, because Imperial Fist like have like fucking 20 successor chapters, but I can't remember. Let's see.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you on the top of my head.
Let's see.
I just know they were green. At first we thought they were salamanders, but turns out they weren't. So
Yeah, there's a couple. There's like the Mantis Warriors that I know of. There's the Raptors, the Nurgle faction, which I think is Raptors, right? Aren't they? Pretty sure. I think the
pretty sure raptors fall under what do you call them? The skin flares. We were just talking about them the other day.
let's see.
Night lords, I
There
think.
you go.
Don't quote me. Not trying to piss off the entire
Fandom and
Warhammer
shit, bro.
community.
Actually, bro, like, like we've been talking about it recently. Like, I've been getting really into like the Joy Toy figures, and like I've done a couple reviews on the channel of like Joy Toy figures, and I haven't really like I'm pretty sure I've butchered like half the lore and half the shit I'm talking about, but I haven't really gotten any hate comments or any.
Hey, hold on.
Uh,
You're bugging out.
am I? All right, slide intermission, but it doesn't say. It says that their allegiance is their loyalist chapter, but let's see, chapter master Koizan Neoterra imprisoned for life. Holy shit, what did he do, bro? Oh, they're successor of the White Scars. There you go. There she is. Let's see.
Really?
Yeah,
I
I'm
wouldn't have
not.
guessed that.
Yeah, look. This is the guy I was telling you about. That um they're like I think they're I know that 40K is like mainly in Europe, so I'm pretty sure the only Hispanic influence that they have on this legion is like Spaniards, which I mean, if you think about it, they technically, are like the originators of most of fucking Latin America. But yeah, so this is their like chapter master, I guess. His name's like Pedro Cantor, and he's I'm pretty sure that don't get. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure he's the chapter master for the Crimson Fist, which is a successor chapter to the Imperial Fist. Um, Honestly, I would have figured they were Ultramarines just because they're fucking blue and red and shit. But I'm actually thinking of fucking getting like Ultramarine, like Terminator with Power Fist, and then kind of painting them up, making them look like this, bro. Just cause bro, gotta represent the fucking Latinos, bro. But
Yeah. I get,
you mentioned that like you used to play a lot of the computer game. What is that one called? The one that you used to play? I'm like,
Dawn of War.
yeah, there you go. I know that's like the one that like everybody refers to when like it's like one of the most accurate to the actual tabletop, right?
Uh, I wouldn't say it was the most accurate, but it was definitely one of the most defining. What do you call them? Strategy games
Yeah,
of its time, and I would honestly even go as far as to say even today,
it's like
just how it was done.
overhead, right? Like it's over top, like a over top view.
Yeah, overhead, build your armies up like that, gather resources, capture
Yeah,
strategic points, and shit like that. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
and
a grand scheme kind of term strategy game.
oh look, this is where your dad probably got it from, bro. They're in that game. The fucking oh no, these are raptors. Oh yeah, these are the ones I'm talking about that look like super badass. Um,
Hmm.
but I know you. I remember like we've spoken about it before, and you're like one of your biggest influences for like a lot of the stuff you like is Halo. Like what was like? I guess what would be like the first instance you ever had with Halo, and like what was like the first game you played from there?
Uh, Definitely the first game, Halo Combat Evolved, back on OG Xbox, the Duke. Um, yeah, it was kind of just like we'd go to like our cousin's house. This is back when we lived in like Virginia. We'd drive all the way to Illinois and go to my aunt's house, and all the boys, cousins, our cousins would be like in the you'd all be in the basement just playing Halo, just going at it and Slayer or whatever.
Okay.
It was,
And like, would you say like Halo kind of shaped the way that pretty much you enjoy things? Like you like a lot of the things that like you really like are influenced by Halo, right? Like I know we've played a shit ton of Destiny together. We play Helldivers, Space Marine 2 and stuff like that. And I would say that if anything, Halo's inspired by Warhammer because I know it came out like afterwards, right? Um,
yeah, but that one's I kind of up in the air. Because when Warhammer first came out, it was kind of just like it was used to be called Rogue Trader. It was kind of just like like a bunch of random shit thrown together. No real like lore was fleshed out. I think the lore being actually thought out and made has been more of a within like the past decade or so of it. For Halo though, I think a lot of the inspiration for Halo came from uh, Aliens versus Predator. You know, because like just like some of the designs, the his assault rifle, it highly resembles the pulse rifle from the Alien series. So yeah. Then of course, obviously,
Pardon that, guys. Just had something to attend to, but we're back here, and I know we're talking about kind of where your love for stuff like Halo, Space Marines, and stuff like that started, and you were talking about how you used to play Halo with your family members. Did you have any more to add to that?
uh, not so much of that.
Okay. And like I know we were just talking about it, and like you said that you're trying to get into like digital art and stuff, like um, what is that kind of what is that kind of inspired by? Like, would it be kind of the same appreciation that you have for like Halo and stuff like that? Is that kind of what got it going, or is it just kind of more of like a personal venture?
It's not so much as the digital art. Kind of just dabble in it just so I could learn how to like if I were to start making games, probably end up being a solo developer at first. That way, independent, can do my own thing. But as of right now, I'm looking more into the coding aspect of it. The whole
Also,
reason
like,
for it is just because of good.
not like video games and stuff like that. Like what would be kind of like? Do you mean more so like actual video games or kind of like assets for video games?
No, actual video games. Like
Okay.
make my own stories or whatever, or work with other people to bring their stories alive and actually make games that are, enjoyable, not cash grabs like most AAA games nowadays.
Right.
That shit's dead. That shit's fucking it's whack and it's destroying the fucking you know a hobby for a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, I completely agree. I mean, one of the things that kind of like a game I used to play on like actually PC when I used to live in the barracks and shit when I was in the schoolhouse. I used to play a lot of DC Universe Online, and like one of the things that like basically made me stop playing that game was not only the very repetitive game cycle where it's like sort of kind of like a lot of live service games nowadays where it's like it's almost like trying to force you to play video games, right? Like in order to get this weekly reward, you have to do these 8 missions that are going to take up a chunk of your day, right? Which is like and if you don't, you're going to miss out on it and you're not going to be able to get it for if not never, for a long time. And I know there's a lot of games that have adopted that business model, unfortunately. Like some that I can just name off the top, we are just talking about it, is, you know, Destiny 2 with their, with their seasonal armors and stuff like that. And it's like Fortnite with their battle pass. I don't know, help me out here. What are some other games that are, notorious for doing stuff like that? I know Halo,
It's majority games nowadays. It's because it's becoming less of a passion and an art and more of a business and monetization. Which don't get
right.
me wrong, yeah, making games obviously not many people are willing to just work for free. I get that part, right? But to the extent of like how they're doing it nowadays, where they're like, oh, here's $60 for this skin, you know, and like they give you like minimal content. Like they give you the game, but it's like, oh, if you want more stuff, more cosmetics or customization options, you gotta drop, an ass load of fucking cash. Which, a game series that we were just talking about is Halo. That they really did that shit with, like, between like fucking Reach and Infinite. I know everyone's like, oh, they're bringing the full customization shit back, but it's ass in the new game, and you have to pay for everything. You have to pay for fucking color schemes. You can't like individually like color your armor or like make your own like I think they had like two tones that you could do, like your primary color and then like your tertiary color. You can't do that anymore. You have to buy a already pre-made art color palette, and it's just shit like that. It's just like that's stupid. That's something that should have been shipped innately with the game, not something I have to go and spend real money on. Or I'm even for the whole unlocking stuff. Oh, get this achievement and you unlock this armor piece or this color pattern. Something like that. Like the games nowadays are just hey, or take my money and we'll give you shit.
Right. And I mean, to be completely honest, like while we're on that subject, I think that's something that doesn't get talked about in a actual, I would say effective way. I feel like a lot of times when people talk about that, it's usually an echo chamber of either positivity or negativity. And
Hmm.
I would say that like that's not even just video games. I would say it's pretty much everything, and I think the main thing that is the reason for that right now is nostalgia, or as I forgot his name. I think his name's Valaverse. He's like he started his own toy company and he like makes videos and stuff like that on the production and the business models and stuff like that of action figures. And I pay attention to action figures a lot, and one of the things he said is what's old is new, and it's basically at like pretty much everything, almost every single source of media or entertainment, whether it's action figures, video games, movies, you know any even music even nowadays is being heavily inspired by things that have already been done, or at least, or even
Right.
in some cases it's just direct copies, right? um
Hmm.
One of the main like I would say like negative things about that is that most people, including myself, and I mean I'm pretty sure everyone could agree that for the most part, especially for a video game that like you grew up playing, that you have a deep, passion for, whenever they kind of dangle some of those older things that remind you of those periods when when you first started playing Halo, or for me in my case it would be like when I first started playing COD and stuff like that. Whenever they bring those things, it's like, well, it's basically I can play the old thing, but today in with today's technology and today's community in a sense. And so I think there's like a big like wave of that going on in video games, especially. I would say.
Yeah, nostalgia bait is real in a lot of these things nowadays, and they know that's what's gonna get people. So,
Yeah, cause like I didn't really ever like I've never played Halo to be honest. Like I played it once or twice like at someone's house, but I've never had an Xbox. But I remember people were complaining about like how like the new like version and like the new video game. I remember seeing a post where they have like the old like um armor for your character. I don't want to butcher it, so I'm just gonna use basic adjectives. Um, like you can get the old style armor with the character that you use for multiplayer, but it's like super fucking expensive, like $25 to
hmm
get the armor. I mean, like it's just stuff like that that, like you said, is ruining really the passion for video games because when people buy stuff like that, it's just you're just feeding the machine. You know what I mean? So that's why
hmm
you just keep seeing it over and over. And I mean, but to be honest, like on the positive side, we have video games like Helldivers where basically you can hop in and you could buy whichever battle bond or war bond, my bad, war bond you want at any time and unlock it at your own pace without having any fear of like, oh, if you don't get it right now, you're never gonna get it. You know, I mean, what are some other we kind of spoke on the positive. Like, what would you say some of the or on the negative? Sorry, what would be some of like the positive cases where you've seen like video games kind of going against that?
well, one of the prime ones would be Space Marines.
Oh,
Space Marines and Helldivers, like the monetization. Yeah, it's kind of still there in Helldivers, but you have the option to get the in-game currency through just playing the game, and eventually you'll get enough to be able to buy the battle bonds. That's fine. I can deal with that. Kind of like how Warframe does it with like platinum or, whatever.
y- you
But
know, yeah. Like, I mean,
but
Warframe is one of
Space
those games.
Marines, good.
Go ahead. Are you going?
I was gonna say Space Marines 2 is definitely doing it right. How they're doing their whole roadmap and all. Like you buy the game, you buy the season pass, which okay, whatever. It gives them that's what kind of like supports them, right? And they release all the content, right? They're not pulling their punches or anything. Like they're giving us continuously giving us updates. Whereas you got games like Destiny, which have had issues for the past decade, and they're not just now addressing it. But it's at this point, it's like it's already too late. Like majority of your player base is gone. I think they're probably averaging like 50,000 players, which isn't shit for that kind of game.
Yeah.
MMOs shouldn't if MMOs have a low player count, like they're gonna die.
Yeah, I mean, I remember back in the day when that game like first came out, like bro, everybody and their mother was playing fucking Destiny 2 back in the day. Um,
hmm
you know, and I just wanted to highlight Warframe. Like in my opinion, I think Warframe is like one of the best games like ever created because it was free upon release, it stayed free, and they've released basically DLC upon DLC for free, and you don't have to spend a dime. Yes, it's not if you're not into like looter shooters or grinders, it's not really the game for you. But the type of game, in my opinion, isn't really enough to discount the monumental achievements it's had. Like, it's really like
Right.
showing because it's been around since what? I'm pretty sure the game came on like 2000, like 11, 2013, something like that. Um,
Something like that. Yeah.
around that time frame because I remember only ever learning about it after looking in the PS4 like free games because I've always been broke as shit, so I had to play the free games. And I remember seeing Warframe on there and I was like, what the hell, this game looks fun. And then that's kind of what started it, right? I never really learned about it online and stuff, but it's like there's definitely a dedicated player base to Warframe, but I just like I feel like it hasn't gotten its roses yet because people don't realize that. Like we have games like Warframe or not Warframe, sorry. We have games like Space Marine and Helldivers that are doing good things for the game, but Helldivers is $40 and then, Space Marine is a full, AAA release game, it's $70. Wait, at least on console. I don't know if it's like different on PC or anything.
No, Space Marines. I don't think was $70. I think that was like if you got like the little special edition, but the base game was $60. The base price that games have you been for like the past 2 decades, and then for some reason, AAA companies want to just jack that price up to $70.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Uh,
I got Steam pulled up right here.
oh yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
the base standard edition is 60, gold edition is 90, and then ultra was 100.
On
But
PC?
there's
Damn.
incentives to that. Like you get the base game. The ultra was just like you get to play the game. I think like 3 days early or whatever, a week early or something like that.
Yeah, look. What the hell? I know that's pre-owned. So for PS5 it was 70. Um,
That's yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, it is kind of crazy, but I mean I've thoroughly enjoyed the
That's
game, so
weird.
for me it was worth it. But that's kind of the same thing, kind of telling that like it's the same thing. Like I know Space Marine 2 came with some issues off for release, which is unfortunately kind of a commodity nowadays, especially with you
Well,
know.
so their thing was they had actually the game was supposed to come out like a year ago, right? But they
Mhm.
postponed it because they wanted to focus on the story and the campaign, right? Which
Yeah,
that in games like this that needs to be your priority,
right,
right?
right,
The multiplayer was second, and it's what will sustain the game throughout the years. Which because they didn't run a beta, they weren't able to stress test their game. It was kind of like what was happening with Helldivers when it first came out. Their Helldivers they didn't set their servers, or their servers weren't set up to accommodate the mass amount of people that were jumping into the game.
right.
So like they were constantly like updating their servers, like oh we're gonna raise it to like I think it was like 500,000, and then a bunch of more people came on, so they had to keep raising it. And it's just like you know things like that, like those kind of what you call them roadblocks or whatever are bound to happen. Like if your shit's good, you're gonna get a lot of traction,
Right.
and ultimately, yeah, that's gonna slow down your servers because if you're not expecting that, it's like, oh shit, what you said, we undersold ourselves, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Which that's not necessarily a bad thing.
right. And I mean, to be fair, like like I'm not knocking on Warhammer, but I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like I only learned about it probably within the last 5 years, and I'm 22, about to be 23, and I've only learned about Warhammer like in the past 5 years. So I don't like I know Warhammer is very popular, especially in the UK and like Europe. It's very popular, but it's not like to the monumental popularity as something like Marvel or DC or some of the other big name medias. So the fact that
Yeah.
like there was a like insane amount of people playing this game upon release is definitely excuses them from having those hiccups early on, right? And as far as I'm aware, like I know they haven't done everything that the community has asked for, but that I know they've done a lot that they have asked for. Like as far as like being able to customize the Chaos Space Marines, which is like pretty much the only time that you can even use Chaos is during multiplayer. Which, in my opinion, that's pretty dope. Like I there's a lot of games, especially AAA titles, that would probably not even I mean Call of Duty. Call of Duty is just like one of those that like people have been nonstop complaining about those games for like years now. Like at this point, I think every single release just comes with a onslaught of issues and problems, and people complain about it, and nothing ever gets done about it because
Well, that's because they're feeding the beast. They complain about it. They say, "Oh, this dog shit game." Yet I'm gonna keep eating it, right? It's
right,
kind of like
right,
with a lot of people experience. I will admit, me included, with Destiny. My thing with Destiny though is I actually think Destiny has a great storyline, even though a lot of it is shrouded in the fucking lore books. But even outside of that, like the gameplay is fluid for the most part. The story is good when they're not, hyper focusing on certain fucking things, you know. But what is it? The guy even said it himself, Pete Parsons or whoever it was. You know, they don't want to over deliver, so they're gonna consistently give like breadcrumbs, and it's like, okay, that'll keep working, that'll work, but only for so long until people are gonna be like, I'm sick of this shit, or some other company's gonna take the concept of Destiny and make it 10 times better and give it what the people have been asking for. For instance, like how you have Overwatch, right? They just fell off the fucking map because of Marvel Rivals.
Yeah.
Some, not trying to get all political, but like that's a group over in China. They took the formula, made it better, and giving the people what they
For
want.
free.
For
Like
free.
that's
Yeah, and
the
it's like
big
it's
part.
consistent, fluid gameplay. It's like they're the balancing, the constant updates. Like they're on top of their shit. Where you got these American companies that are just like, we hear our fans complaining about it, but we're gonna give them something that they're not asking for. You know,
Right. That this random
oh, they
like
threw in a new skin. Who the fuck gives a fuck about a new skin? We want a new fucking character.
yeah, yeah. I mean like but that's the thing, right? And like I know that like I feel like it's just one of those things exactly like you said. It's just and I've made videos on my channel in regarding like the action figure community um regarding matters like that. Like right now, I'll just pull it up, right? Like pivot the conversation a little bit. Um just so kind of everyone understands that it's not only it's not only video games and stuff like that. It's pretty much all western anything really. Like any kind of consumption that's in the western hemisphere part of the world. I mean like just for example, right? Just so you can see. I know you're not like that, savvy when it comes to like the action figure stuff. But so this figure is based on the new Dragon Ball Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku, right? This is like the brand new, never been seen before. Super Saiyan 4 has finally been introduced into the canon of Dragon Ball, and this is his first appearance, right? Just like you said, I did have this guy on pre-order right now. I've since removed my pre-order, and I'm heavily considering if this is actually something I want to put money on. But just so you understand, right? This figure is $70. He's coming in at about almost 3.1 inches, right? That's very fucking small for a $70 action figure that only comes with this, right? I mean, like, is it a unique, completely, special, one of a kind figure? Yes, it is, right? But it's very hard to justify that when we're getting stuff like this, and I know everyone is like up in arms about this figure right now, but just so kind of you understand, this is a full 112 scale, which if you're not, kind of, know what that means. 112 scale is basically 6 inch. So just kind of your run of the mill action figure. And as far as I'm aware, this guy is $63. So this is a full, almost 7 inch action figure that comes with all of this. He comes with a slew of hands, wire or a cloth cape, not wired. Comes with a couple weapon accessories and then some interchangeable faceplates, right? And then if you are, oh, sorry, correct it. Let me correct myself. The regular version that doesn't come with the extra Christian Bale head is $50. So $20 less than this, and comes with more. And then the deluxe version, which does come with the Christian Bale head and everything. Let me go ahead and switch this. Let's see, where is it? Give me the money shot. Okay, here he is. This one comes with a base plate, interchangeable neck and head, and basically the same accessories over here to the right for $63. Obviously one is Dragon Ball and one is a almost 10-year-old movie at this point. But that
Right.
just kind of, it just goes to show that that's how they get you. Is there is no reason. There's absolutely no reason. This is from a company that focuses on making live like 12-inch action figures that have since moved to, yeah, they've scaled down and they've maintained that quality. I've seen a bunch of reviews, and if you're watching this, you can go ahead and do your own research and look at this. This is by miles better in quality and money, bang for your money, and everything. But this is probably still gonna sell really well because it's Dragon Ball. And just like, kind of to wrap it
It's
all
the
back,
nostalgia bait of it.
exactly, is this is Super Saiyan 4. It's not a new concept, just because then, God rest his soul, just because Akira Toriyama made it doesn't make it any more special. It's just Super Saiyan 4. We've already seen it. It's not a new concept. Or this thing we're looking at exactly is kind of a unique concept, but it's something that's already been done, right? It's like me drawing my own variant of Batman. Is it unique? Yes, but Batman already exists, right? I'm not creating something that's like, oh my god, this is brand new, this is revolutionary. You know what I mean? So that
Yeah.
definitely, and this is just another part of it, right? Like, this fucking Call of Duty, bro. Like, Fortnite, like,
Oh, that's
okay,
Call of Duty.
yes, bro.
What the fuck?
Yeah, Call of
Yo,
Duty,
that's
bro.
so they're pulling a Fortnite is what I'm hearing because
Yes,
I know they had Gundam in there,
that
they
Space
had
Marine.
Warhammer in there.
Yep.
Yep, they had all kinds of shit. And I'm just like all that is just like, oh, you know, you're baiting people. It's kind of like me with Star Wars, right? When I found out that they put Star Wars in Destiny, I'm like, ooh, gotta get on that. But I've kind of like been holding out, and I've been doing pretty well so far. But it's just like, I don't know,
Yeah.
some of that shit just seems like desperate moves. Like Fortnite is one thing that's expected them. That's their whole persona, right? Call of Duty, that was never Call of Duty's persona.
Never,
You know,
dude. Like,
never.
my personal favorite Call of Duty, and I think it's a mixture of nostalgia and also just the quality of the game, is Call of Duty Black Ops 1, the first Black Ops. Or it's not even Black Ops 1, it's just Black Ops. Uh, that game has so much like sentimental and just nostalgic factor for me. It's my favorite campaign. It's probably my second favorite multiplayer, and it's my favorite Call of Duty Zombies. If I would have grew up playing World at War, would have probably been that one because I play a lot of the World at War maps on BO3. I play them on BO1 and stuff like that. So it would probably been that one, but since I grew up playing Black Ops 1 a lot, like that game and Modern Warfare 3 pretty much composed like ages like 8 to like 13 for me. Um, and to see that franchise that I grew up loving so much descend into basically Fortnite, and there's nothing wrong with Fortnite, right? I love Fortnite. I play Fortnite all the
Yeah.
fucking time. We play it all the time. But it's like exactly like you said, it's expected. Fortnite's like a cartoonish, like kind of goofy game, right? So it kind of makes sense.
Multiverse.
Exactly,
Yeah.
especially with like
But
the. Or go ahead.
Call of Duty, like none of this shit. Like I can understand, having cameos or like little events where it like pertains or is like somewhere within the realm of something's genre. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Call of Duty, like get the fuck out of here. There's no correlation to that. Now if they did something like Punisher, okay, I could see that a Punisher skin, right?
Right.
But like Warhammer, Gundam, like that, where does that shit even fit into Call of Duty?
I mean,
You know,
honestly, the only collab that like kind of similar to you, how you said that they almost reeled you back into Destiny 2 because of the Star Wars collab. For me, I definitely like, bro. I spent like money on this event. I fucking love Spawn, and I played the hell out of this game when this event was
yeah.
going on. The Spawn collab. Um,
Hmm.
so I definitely get
Like,
that.
don't get me wrong, it looks cool, but like, what is the correlation to Call of Duty? Well, I mean, I
Exactly.
guess the fact that Al Simmons uses fucking guns, but
So
like outside of that, like,
right, right. But it's like in
you know what I'm saying?
this in my opinion, this is okay because exactly like you said, Al Simmons is a fucking mercenary. It sort of makes sense. But like when the hell have we ever
Right.
have we ever seen the Ninja Turtles fucking go in there and start blasting freaking people up. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. That's kind of like that's where I think AAA, not only companies but most video games nowadays are unfortunately drop falling into the trap of is, I think one of the best things, and I don't want to go on too long, but one of the things I want to say is I forgot who said it. One of the developers over at Helldivers. Although I believe his actions were wrong, I think they kind of sabotaged their own game because that game was like, I mean, that was like one of the first games on next gen that broke the like internet, in my opinion. Like, literally, I remember waiting in queue like 25-30 minutes just to play when that game first came out. That's like how fucking popular Helldivers 2 was when it first came out. And it's one of the few examples of a game that still hasn't succumbed to the collaboration, trap. I know they did a collab with Killzone, but dude, that's insane, bro. That's insane that
Yeah,
Killzone's getting some
but
attention and fucking.
it makes sense though because the Helldivers originally was a PlayStation exclusive, and that's their way of like including the exclusivity to it. So there's the correlation to that though. See that it fits, you know.
But that looks like a Helldiver's character. It looks like a Helldiver. It doesn't.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
like.
it fits.
It's
But
not like.
here, let me tell you this though. You know that they actually gave homage to Halo, right?
Yeah.
Because there's an armor in there called like the T117, right? Which, if you know Halo, Master Chief's number is 117. It's green, like Master Chief, and it even has like the fucking armor, the ammo pouches on the front, like the old Combat Evolved armor. Granted, it doesn't look necessarily like it, but you can see the influence. Like,
It's this one,
like
right?
see, yeah, and if you go look at Halo Combat Evolved Master Chief armor, you'll see the whole the ammo pouches I was talking about. And not to mention, Helldivers is heavily influenced from the concept of the ODST, which are like
Aren't aren't
total drop shock troopers.
aren't they called like Helldivers or something like that? Like.
They're called ODST. They're shock troopers. But yeah, they diving feet first into hell. You know, they drop in a fucking pod right into the middle of fucking combat or whatever, and start carrying out the fucking mission type shit.
Yeah, man. Fuck, dude. Like, I'm really excited. Like, I know, we haven't really talked about any of the newer games and stuff. Maybe we could do that in a separate video if you're, willing to come back on here and talk to the people. But, like, it's kind of sad that it's very, very seldom that we get a unique concept nowadays. I feel like, especially in movies, it's just we keep getting live action versions of cartoons. In video games, we keep getting like, oh, here's whatever game, and then a continued number of the original game. Like, is there a game that like you've played in the recent past that has been like a completely unique experience and not kind of a continuation or a recreation of an old title?
Aside from, I guess, Space Marines being like a game that has like a franchise type game,
Yeah,
like a
like
really unique one.
separated. Like, I mean, like just a completely unique experience that like has never been done before. Like, no continuation, not a part of a series, completely like isolated from everything, just its own video game.
I mean, aside from Helldivers, that I mean, I don't really go stray too far out of like shooters or like Souls like games or hack and slashes. So, but one game I have been thinking about was this game that just released called Split Fiction, which apparently is doing really well, and it's a co-op based kind of game, which it's from the people that made It Takes Two. So
Okay.
it'd probably be like the closest thing that I think would be like a unique concept in itself.
All right. Well, I don't want to take too much of your time, so we'll just go ahead and kind of wrap it up here. Is there anything you wanted to say before we cut this off, or mention any projects you're working on at this current moment in time to get the people excited?
yet. I'm just a nobody as of right now. Maybe
All
one day
right.
I'll make it big.
All right,
But
man. Well, make sure you keep us updated whenever you're, fucking ready to go on that. Whenever you start making video games, let us know. Fucking do what we can.
yeah, definitely.
All right, brother. Thanks for fucking hopping on. Xeno187. Remember the name. Thanks for coming on, brother.
Yep, no problem anytime.
All right, man. Peace.